Okay, that looks like a stable stream. All right, it took a little bit, but due to some fortunate, unforeseen but fortunate circumstances, I didn't have to work this morning, and so I'm gonna go for a race weekend at Silverstone. It's still a super new track for me. I really don't have that many laps on it, but feel like I feel like I've uncovered enough uh, weaknesses and discomfort to just kind of put it to the test. Um, it's probably going to go disastrously bad, but I feel like those are environments where you kind of you can learn more. You uncover more weaknesses, and you can capitalize on more strengths. Learn what your strengths are. So that's what we're gonna go for. Um, so the plan is same thing, MX5 Cup, Silverstone. We'll do an evening race, scattered clouds because it looks pretty. Everyone's going to be in the same car, 8 opponents, and weekend option means we're going to get 5 minutes of practice. We actually could probably increase that a little bit because Silverstone is a much longer track. We will qualify for 10 minutes. That's going to be enough for probably like 2. What's my best lap time? It should say here. 2:35 is my best lap time. So it'll be about 3 laps for qualifying. Let's go for like 8 minutes. And then laps in the race. 3 laps of Silverstone. Opponent strength 90% plus or minus 2%. I feel like if I do everything perfectly, I might be able to compete for podium. Like given my current skill set, not perfectly globally perfectly, but perfectly for me right now, I could hope for a podium finish at this level. I mean, we'll see. And then opponent aggression low because these guys, they really, this AI is just savage. We'll turn this on so that I can get a better start. All right, let's get at it. So goals for this session are to try and be more consistent, right? So figuring out how slowly I need to be entering the slow turns and how I can reliably get through the fast turns without just eating the car off the track. One thing I was focusing on the last time I turned a couple laps at Silverstone in the Miata is focusing a lot more on the exit of the turn rather than the entrance of the turn or the braking zone, right? So like allowing myself to be a little bit more like conservative and sluggish on the brakes, slow and careful on the entry, but much more aggressive on the mid-turn and exit, and just setting myself up for an aggressive exit of the turn. That's what I was trying to focus on, because I found I was pushing braking zones too much too early and just not being able to rotate the car because I was carrying too much speed. The other thing about the Miata is, I mentioned this the last time I was racing to myself, which is that like the moment you start to shift the weight to the front of the car and have any amount of turn in, the back end just scoots right out. And so it kind of teaches you how to balance the car a little bit better, how to tame the rear end a little bit better, but it is just so punishing so quickly. So that's something to, for me to work on. Okay, let me go back here and go to here, and let's go see if this works. It might crash because it's been giving me some issues sometimes. There we are. Okay, the other thing is I need to adjust where this is. Okay, it doesn't let me with that. I need mouse. Practice has started, so I do have to be quick with this. This was pretty good right here. This I don't really care. Okay. I think we're good with everything else. The other thing is I'm gonna try to not have the race line on the entire time. Actually, you know what? For practice, I'll have the race line on because that is what practice is for. Here? Yeah. This turn is very difficult for me. I found that just... Oh. Classic Miata downshift. Yeah, I feel like where you get rewarded with the Miata, and this is why it's called a momentum car, but if you are sort of gentle and careful with your entry, but you preserve all that momentum through the corner and you have better exit speed, you are just rewarded like instantly, because you will, yeah, you'll climb out ahead of the pack because everyone's slow to accelerate, including yourself. So everyone's creeping up to top speed, but if you have that better exit speed, you have a huge advantage. And that advantage sticks like all the way into the next turn. You know, like all the way down this straight, that slight advantage at the outset of the last turn is just going to pay dividends this entire straight. I feel like that turn I could brake less for. This turn I don't need to brake at all, just flat out. This turn is more braking than I often give it credit for. Okay. And I always spin out on this turn too, as I try to downshift. Braking a lot for that first turn would allow that turn to go a little bit smoother. I lift here, and then as I'm entering this part of the turn, big brakes, and then trail brake, and that allows me to avoid kicking the back out. I don't think that's optimum, but it is. Oh, geez. I don't think that's optimum, but it is safe. Less braking for this turn. Okay. Kind of pushing the limit there, but... I have to be careful not to cut that too much, because then I'll get a penalty. Okay, so this has been smooth so far. Just trying to piece this together now. A little bit of over braking for that. Apply that through here. That's the turn I never brake enough for. I totally botched that. I wasn't paying attention. Botched, botched, botched. Paying more attention to this head strap than I am to the track. Okay. Okay. I'm not exactly sure how I lost that so badly there. Thought I was able to recover that. Okay. Get out there and qualify. Okay, cold tires, cold tires. So this first lap is practically an extension of practice, and the whole goal is to identify the final couple turns to maximize the hot lap. It's a great idea. In terms of execution, we will see. Okay, maximizing these turns, leading into the final straight. And here comes the qualifying lap. Gentle, controlled entry. An aggressive exit. definitely over braking a little bit. Like really pushing the ABS. I should try to avoid, or at least if I'm going to push the ABS doing it in a controlled way. Here's a challenging turn. So lift, brake. Yeah. I think I was braking while turning a little bit too much, which again, this car hates. I mean, some cars can balance it a little bit better. It's not a good idea generally if you can avoid it, but like a turn like that, you know, trying to balance the car as you're trail braking through that rotation, I feel like should be beneficial, but this car just hates it. It'll spin you out so quick. I did not let the car balance there. Another 3 minutes, 30 seconds of qualifying. Do I have enough time for another qualifying lap? Yes, if I get overtime, I do. Because I have 2 minutes, 30 seconds of qualifying. And that's my best lap time, just about. Okay, not off to a great start. I feel like something else that the Miata rewards you for, or maybe it's not even the Miata, I think it's honestly my skill level right now, you get rewarded for is allowing time for the suspension to settle into your inputs. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of allowing the car to balance based on what you're doing, because the suspension's not immediate, you know, it's flexing, it's dealing. And if you, put in too many inputs, you end up getting all these oscillations and just craziness that I just don't have the wherewithal or skill set to be able to contend with. Overtime, okay. And that should be that, yeah. Waiting for 8 other cars to finish qualifying. I wish that I could have some stats. Let's see if I can get those laps. Yeah, my best was a 237. Ain't so great. What that's gonna get me. See if we can extend this actually. Show me more? No. Oh. But I can make it bigger. Really gotta look up to see that flag though. Okay. And I see other stuff like splits, leaderboard. Okay, that's something. Performance delta. Oh gosh, it's all stacking. That's cool. Not sure what that's going to tell me right now, though. You got to look into that. Okay, so performance delta can go away. Leaderboard, I am curious about, so we can keep that like over here in the corner. Get this. Honestly, I don't think I need this, but we could keep this in this corner in case I do. This, I mean, at least this shows me position, whatnot. So, okay. What else? Track map. Nice to know where I'm at. Perfect. Well, that's where we're at right now. I qualified second. Not bad. Alright, let's take a quick look at something on my phone. Okay. Alright, here it is. 4 laps at Silverstone. I think I'm going to keep the race line on. It is, at this point, it's my reference for kind of like where to be on the track, braking zones. I need to externalize the braking zones so that I'm looking outside of the suggested race line, because I don't think this is optimal for the Miata necessarily. So, but for another day, I'll take a hopefully, knock on wood, a clean race weekend. That'll be a good improvement. So, all right, here we go. A solid launch. Okay, you braked a lot for this turn. No, no, no! Classic. The classic downshift. curb. Okay, I liked that. Downshifting into third, which feels very high revving as I enter that turn, but then it's perfect as I go into the second part of that series of turns. Guys are right up my butt. Wow. Quick through there. Well, I mean, what is this? Is this Silverstone or is this Tokyo Drift? What is going on here? Just trying to navigate this traffic and not doing it well. Okay. Kept it on the track though. What not? Not what the objective was for today. That's what I have to. That's what I have to fight. Fight that aggression so that I can have clean exits and I catch him on pace. Not respect that braking zone. This is where I'm much faster, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pinch the inside out of this. And that's right, he overbrakes me. Where else can I pass this guy where I know that I'm faster? Okay, I guess this is Tokyo Drift. What in the world? That was absurd. Absurd. Oh my gosh. So stupid. Okay, calm down and get your exits. Exits, 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 exits. Wow. 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 Holy Toledo. That... Did I get a best lap here? 2:35.668. I mean, I feel like that's... Didn't I get a 2:34 before this session? I think my best is 2:34. Anyway, regardless, definitely best performance. Oh my gosh. That felt very good. That felt very good. Did I accomplish what I set out to accomplish? I'd say about 60% of the time. 70% of the time I did. And there was a good, 30% of the time where I was autopilot, aggressive, pushing braking zones, feeling like there was traffic behind me that I had to outpace into the turn. But if you're ahead and they're not on the inside, you get to dictate what the traffic behind you is doing, because where are they going to go? Just like I have to brake when someone's over braking for a turn, I have to address that if I'm not on the inside. So not worrying so much about traffic being stacked up behind you, not feeling like you need to push the braking zone, not feeling that pressure, but instead setting the turn up so that when you exit, you've got all of this speed and can make something out of it. Take that speed and turn it into a good exit, a good straight, and then loop that into the next turn, and then get good pace and get good results. Oh no. I think I was not recording the right way. Hope that still came out decent. We will see. Oh, no. It was, I think I was recording. Yeah, I was recording. Okay, anyway. What else can I take away from that? I definitely am feeling like I'm understanding the Miata's behavior a little bit better. Like when it, wants to let go of the back end, how it likes to turn in, the speeds that it likes to corner at, the sort of just the balance of the car, how the suspension responds to certain inputs. I feel like that is starting to make more sense. I think that helped today. What else? What else could I take away? Exits. I was focusing on exits. When I was fastest is when I was when my turn in was later and more controlled, so that my rotation was again more controlled and my exits were fast. I could be more aggressive on the throttle on the exit. I feel like that was when I was feeling the fastest, when I saw the best gap closing to the car in front of me, and when I felt like I was gapping the car behind, is when I was doing that. Obviously, better understanding of the track, better understanding of the turns. Yeah, I think the next time I should try this with the race line off. I think that's the next logical step. But anyway, I'll take that. I'll take that first place finish that I nearly lost it on the track during the race like 3 times, one of which was on the final pass, like 3 turns before the last lap or before the finish. Holy cow, that was intense. That was so intense. Anyway, all right, very good, very good.